Okay, hi, this is Dan Boul, president of 65 Amps in North Hollywood, California. I wanted to talk to you today about the differences between traditional master volume and the master voltage feature that we use on our amplifiers. A master volume is really just a choke that you put on the signal. You create a big signal in the preamp and then you choke it down to nothing. And that's where the distortion comes. And it has pros and cons. The good part of it is you can get distortion at a low volume. In my opinion, it's very low quality distortion. And you also lose the ability to retain a clean sound on your amplifier. So we came up with something we call the master voltage, where what we're doing is actually reducing the voltage on the tubes in a proportionate manner so they still function correctly. And they still have the same dynamic range that you would have of an unrestricted amp at full power. So you get nice natural power tube distortion without choking it through the master volume circuit. And all we're doing is we drop the voltage on the tubes in such a way that the relationship inside of the tube is still consistent. So you have the same dynamic range, the same vocabulary, the exact same feel as you're playing guitar. It still feels like a strong, healthy, vibrant guitar, whereas if you're doing power scaling or an attenuator or a master volume, you tend to end up with something that's rather mushy feeling and fizzy sounding. With our master voltage, you have none of that. The amp still acts exactly the same. Your guitar still have the same vocabulary and the same touch response that you had of the amp at full power. Only with most of our amps, you can drop the output of it down to around 3 or 4 watts. Now, it will change the sound a little bit because that's not much electricity pushing a speaker. But in general, it acts almost exactly the same. So what that allows you to do is set the breakup point on the amp where you like it, full power, get the nice natural distortion that you're looking for, and then just reduce the efficiency of the amp. So the vocabulary is exactly the same. We're finding, and pros are finding also, that this is significantly more useful than a master volume circuit. Not to mention that since you're dropping the voltage on your tubes, it extends the life of your amp dramatically. If you take a tube that normally runs at 375 volts and run it down at 150 volts, it'll last forever. So there's multifold benefit to doing this. So I hope that answers your question about a master volume versus a master voltage. If you have any questions, please feel free to write me. I'm Dan at 65amps.com. I'm also on Facebook, and I'll be happy to discuss this at length with you anytime. Thank you very much.